Hello, this is Vincent here, and I would like to welcome you to the first of a three-part video on Windows and wireless hacking. To begin with, let's take a look at the term hacker. Traditionally, the term hacker meant a technically gifted person working with computers. From a traditional perspective, a hacker is considered to be a skilled programmer or engineer who could rewrite code or customize it to improve it. Today, the entertainment media has given it a negative connotation. That is of someone who breaks into someone else's computer system, often on a network, cracks passwords, bypasses security systems, steals or corrupts data. These people were originally called crackers, while a hacker is a person who enjoys learning details of computer systems and how to stretch their capabilities to the maximum. In the first video, I'll demonstrate how to remotely gain access to a Windows 7 PC by using the Windows Server Message Block, the SMB, or rather brute force it. The second part demonstrates how to own the victim's PC by using a social engineering attack to deliver our exploit payload by embedding it within an Excel or a WinRAR archive file. And in the third video, we'll be hacking into the victim's wireless network by decrypting the authentication handshake between the client and the access point that has been copied off the air. Alright, let's kick off this show with a classic SMB brute force attack on a Windows 7 Service Pack 1 PC. As with any sensible hack, we'll begin by footprinting the victim. Here we are going to use the Nmap network scanner to try to gain information about the PC which can be leveraged into an attack. We will then make certain assumptions and try to brute force a user credential on the server message block using the SMB login module in Metasploit. We will, for the sake of completeness of information, enumerate the users on the system by using the lookup set script again from Metasploit. Let's take a look at the topology we'll be using. Here we have the victim, a Windows 7 PC on the LAN with an IP address of 192.168.5.5, and the Kali Linux PC in the role of the attacker on the 192.168.5.100 IP. Okay, here's the first step. Find out everything you can about the victim's PC. I'm going to be using the Nmap network scanner to do a thorough scan on the victim. The Nmap scanner is a popular network discovery and security audit tool, which uses raw IP packets to do a variety of scans including stealth or aggressive scans on networks, PCs, firewalls, and other network infrastructure devices to figure out open ports and other possible vulnerabilities. The following video clip seems to prove the capabilities of Nmap, of course with the typical movie exaggeration of the ease of usage and its capabilities. I'm firing off our own Nmap scan with the following switches. The P switch for not initiating a ping, as most secure systems would have disabled ICMP responses. The O and the A switches for aggressive enumeration of the operating system and its versions. The T switch for a fairly slow scan so as not to alert the victim. You could go for a T5 for a pretty loud fast scan, but as Kali says, the quieter you get, the more you're able to hear. The S switch for a thin stealth scan. The P for port ranges to be scanned. Here I'm scanning the ports 1 through 1000. And the VV for a very verbose output into the output file and screen. And off he goes. I speed up the video here since this particular scan took about 7 minutes. Let's see what little secrets Nmap has turned up. Here is a list of open ports and the services using them. Looks like a typical Windows system except for the VMware installation. And here's a quick guess of the operating system and versions. This is courtesy of the aggressive OS scan switch. Seems to be fairly confident that the victim seems to be a Windows 7 PC with a Service Pack 1. And here are the NetBIOS details. And here I'm going to assume that the PC has a user called Vincent or administrator, which surprisingly is mostly the case as the PC name mostly mirrors a username. And here's the info that we have been looking for, that the SMB challenge response is supported and that SMB message signing is disabled. Dangerous, but the default. And so armed with a small password file in which I have embedded the real password, though in real life a password file would be multi-gigabit sized. I have a couple of them I peg at around 30 gigs each. But for this demo, I don't think we have the hours it takes to attack with the full password file. The Metasploit framework. This is kind of the de facto standard in a penetration test. It's a collection of scanners, exploits, and post-exploitation scripts all bundled into a natty little framework with over 1,000 exploits and associated scripts like the MSF Venom to generate all kinds of payloads. The Metasploit framework, with a few other tools like the Whale Suite, Shelter, Set, that is the social engineering toolkit, and other tools bundled into Kali, give you a fairly comprehensive bundle to stage a penetration test. I'm firing up my Metasploit framework now. I love these little images that pop up every time I fire up my Metasploit. Picking up the SMB login script. Make sure you look at all the options before punching in the parameters of the exploit. Setting up the user, pointing the script towards the password.txt file, and here we go. And here's a brute force attack picking up the credentials. And now armed with the credentials, moving on to find out more uses on the system with the lookup set script. Selecting the script, looking at the options, setting up the parameters, and sending him off. And here are all the uses on the victim with their reds.